day. It's November 3rd. Yeah, Sunday, November 3rd, 2024, and welcome to my live stream. On this live stream today, I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts about retirement because I have made a decision that I'm going to be retiring. And there's a process that I need to go through and a whole bunch of things that I need to do. So this video is less about like what to do in order for you to retire and more about my process. So it might be helpful for you to watch if you're thinking about retiring yourself and wondering if it's the right time for you. I don't tend to focus on practicalities. I tend to focus on emotions. So this video is going to be more about my thoughts and feelings around preparing for retirement and what my hopes and dreams are for the next half of my life. So thank you for being here. And by the way, if you're watching and I am not monetized yet, but if you want to support my work and my channel, I have a Buy Me a Coffee link that's linked in this video, and it's also linked on my channel description page, and feel free to give me a thanks that way. I'd appreciate it, but it's not required. Okay, I have some notes here, so just to help keep me on track. So first of all, let's get started talking about the career that I'm leaving. I have been an elementary educator for 26 years. This is my 26th year, and I've taught second grade for about half of those years. Other than that, I taught kindergarten, first, third, and fourth. And then prior to me being a professional teacher, prior to me having my teaching credential, I worked as a nursery school teacher, a daycare center aide, and then as a young child, I babysat and worked in retail stores and all that kind of stuff. So I've been working since I was 12 years old, and I am 55 now. So I have decided that it's time to leave my career. I realize that I might not be looking in the right place on the camera. I'm sorry, and I tend to look all over the place, so just be patient with me. I've decided that it's time for me to leave my career because I just am done. I feel like I've given everything that I can give. I feel like I have used this time of my life as a young person to be of service, and I'm ready to be of service to myself. Hi, Rochelle. I don't have my glasses on, so I apologize for the squinting. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Leave any questions or anything you have down there, and that would be great. Or just any supportive comments are fine too. So I've worked all of these years, and I have been. I need to figure out what my vocabulary is around here. I'm not retired yet. I have been a really good, loyal, dedicated employee for the whole of my life and the whole of my career, and I'm really worn out. Part of my being worn out has to do with autistic burnout because I am neurodivergent, but another part of it is just having given all of myself to my career, and I don't want to enter into the second half of my life without the energy to enjoy it. I still have a lot of life to live, and I want to live it to the fullest. I don't want to be completely done and burnt by the time retiring comes to me. So one of the reasons why I've even started thinking about leaving my career now is because there have been so many changes in education as a whole, and then so many changes in education in our school district, and then that filters down to so many changes in education at my school site, and how the kind of work that we're expected to do compared to when I started in 1999. So the expectations are immense. There doesn't seem to be understanding from the top administrators that teachers also need to have and live a certain have a quality of life, that we have lives outside of the classroom. Um, it's not enough that we're of service in the hours during our contract hours. We're expected to be of service outside of our contract hours. And then right now, for those teachers who are working in schools that are lower performing schools, we're being scrutinized to a degree that's just like, that's unreasonable. And I'm feeling like at this point of time in my career, after working for 2.5 decades, that I shouldn't have to continue proving myself. So those changes in the workplace have caused me to come to the decision now that it's time to leave. And I'm excited for that. Some of the personal considerations as to why now is the right time for me to leave my teaching career are, have to do with like my family history. Both of my parents had retirements that were not at will. My mom was forced into retirement when it became apparent that she was having early signs of dementia and cognitive decline. And my father was forced into retirement probably close to the same age I am now, because he was having some skeletal issues and had to have a spinal fusion in his neck. And so he ended up retiring early. I want to retire by choice. I don't want to work until I'm not well functioning anymore. I don't think anybody should have to do that. So I want to forge a new path for myself and not work until I have nothing left of me. My sister, who I don't really speak to much anymore, she works for herself, and I don't know actually if she's retired or not. I don't have models in my family of people who have worked a full career and earned their retirement and then like gracefully went into retirement. So that means that I would be the first person in my family unit to do that. And it's scary, actually. It's terrifying because I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. And I have to be okay with that. I am in good health right now, and I want to continue to enjoy my good health. I am vibrant, and I want to enjoy that vibrancy that I feel that I have now. My children are young and here and still live close by, and so I'd like to enjoy the time with them that I can before they head off and do their own thing in the world. So those are some of the reasons why. Now, one thing that I'm noticing that always happens to me is that I like to call myself an in-the-moment processor, so I don't always think the thoughts all the way through before I start talking. So part of this live for me is processing all of these thoughts, even though I have a little notepad here with all of my thoughts on it, the things I want to touch on. As I'm talking to you, I'm kind of feeling all the feels and making the connection. So if that's something that you understand and are willing to deal with, thank you. And you can send me some hearts or some thumbs up or say, I get you in the comments. That would help me out a bit. I need my glasses. Oh, okay. The next topic I have here is all the bureaucratic tasks and of my job and why those have become challenging. Judith is saying to me that she understands. Yes, thank you, Judith. Enjoy my life before it's too late. Exactly. exactly. Maybe Judith, you can share with us in the comments or in a post or in a video. I haven't watched all of your videos yet, so if you've already done this, you can. My apologies, but like, let us know what that process was like. Because I don't have any models, and I'd I'd love to know. Um, so right now, there's a bunch of bureaucratic tasks that I need to take care of in order to retire, and thank you, Rochelle. um, I my executive functioning skills are crap. Um, they are really good on the job, and that's because I'm forced into them daily. I have to executively function in order to get through my workday. But when I am home and I don't have a list of tasks that I have to get done one right after the other, I really struggle. So all of the bureaucratic tasks that I need to take care of right now include meeting with the retirement department of my school district, and to find out if I have all of the right number of hours, and to find out if my sick days, if I have any sick days left that equal hours towards retirement, or something. I need to meet with the retirement counselor. I need to meet with my pension uh, counselor, and I also need to meet with a private, uh, uh, it's not a coach, he's like a consultant, who specifically helps teachers in my school district see if they're ready for retirement, and have so that they can maneuver through the process. So I need to make all of those appointments and keep them. That's hard for me because of my executive functioning struggles. So in each of those appointments, I think one of them is a Zoom call it's like a 3-hour long Zoom call that I would be on with all of the other people who scheduled the Zoom call that day. And that's supposed to be the time where you get information and then ask questions. But I don't retain the information well unless I have a way to look back on it. So I'm feeling stressed and a little challenged by that. And I'm also wanting to be able to advocate for myself in the other 2 meetings, to ask if I can either record the meeting or if they can provide me with a printout of the information that they've given me, orally, so that I can take it home and look at it, because I won't retain the information when I'm sitting there in the meeting. That's going to cause me a lot of stress anyway, having to make eye contact and listen and process. It's all difficult for me. So that's some of the bureaucratic mess that I've got to get myself through and that I have to plan for. The next on my list are my fears about retirement. So there are a few. I want to take a moment to read your comments, so just give me a second. Oh, thank you, Judith. Okay, I'm sorry that you had that experience, and I hope that you've been able to resolve the health issues, or that they've gotten better since you have left. My heart's with you. Fears. So the fears that I have, first of all, are that I'm going to experience a lot of stress going through all the bureaucracy. That's always a fear of mine, because I've failed at that in my life so many times. Not completely, like I failed in the process and then figured my way out, but not without a ton of stress. So I'm afraid of the stress and the mental exhaustion it's going to cause me when I'm already stressed and mentally exhausted from my job. Some more fears about going into retirement are, of course, financial. I live in California, and the cost of living here is very high. And we bought our home about 9 years ago, so we still have a substantial mortgage. My husband works for himself and has his own business. So as of right now, we're comfortable making our mortgage payment and taking care of all of the rest of life. But when I retire, that will be different. I will have my pension, which will be a portion of my salary, but then I'm going to have to make up the rest of it with side hustles, which I'm perfectly capable of doing. But it's another level of stress that that's added, like about the long-term financial strain that may happen is one of my fears. Another one of my fears is because of my family history of poor health, just my mom and my dad. I have an innate fear that, that something's going to happen to me. I have an innate fear that I am going to end up with dementia. I have an innate fear that if I don't take absolute perfect care of myself, that I might have a stroke and heart attack like my father did. So I have a lot of fears about my health, even though I'm in good health at this age. I'm afraid of the inactivity of daily work causing me to fall into ill health, and I don't want that to happen. Another fear that I have about going into retirement is that it's going to change my relationship with my children. So I have a son who's 22 and he's in college. He'll finish up in another 9 months, take a year off, probably live at home, and then go off to graduate school. And I have a daughter who's 19 who's in college now at our local community college. She still lives at home. And I just have a fear like they're going to look at me differently, that they're going to see me as old and aging. Now, these fears could be completely unreasonable. I don't know how they're going to respond yet because it hasn't happened, and I can't foresee the future. I do know that my children are loving and warm children, but they've never been through the retirement of a parent before. So it's likely that they might have feelings about it that might cause some friction with us, especially with me being home and not keeping to the schedule that they've been used to their whole lives. Speaking about relationships, I also have some fears about how me retiring might affect the relationship with my husband, since he will still be working and will be relying on his hard work to, guide us through the next 20 years or 30 years or whatever, however much longer he decides he wants to work for. I'm concerned about how our relationship might bend and change. I don't want to say suffer, because I don't think it will suffer, but I'm a bit concerned about how it will bend and change. We're both in second marriages with each other. We met when we were about 41, and so we've done a lot of growing together. But we're both new at entering into this stage, so all we can do is just be really patient. So that's one of my fears. And then the other fear has to do with me and how I'm going to spend and manage my time. I'm just going to take a moment to check out my comments right now. Thank you, Brighten Your Corner. I don't know your first name, but thank you. I do feel like I'm being brave. How well you are feeling, how happier you will be. Oh, Judith, that makes a lot of sense, that whatever my vibe is, they will feed off of that vibe. Yeah. And now that you say that, I think that going back to what I said in the beginning of this talk, how I didn't have a model of a healthy retirement, that's a good point. I think that they're going to see me as, like a forerunner, like a front runner. Those are opposite. They're going to see me as somebody forging forward with taking care of myself, and then they'll have a model for that, and they might then be very proud and accepting and excited for me. Excuse me a second. Back to my other fears about myself, though. I don't think that I will sit idly and do nothing. There are times when I definitely need to do that, and I'm sure there will be a period, a transition period, where I will need to just protect myself under my covers. I am neurodivergent, as I said, and I do have a lot of sensory needs, so when I get overwhelmed with the outside world or overwhelmed with my interior self, I do need time to take care of those sensory needs. And I think that this transition in my life is going to bring up a lot of that, a lot of those feelings. So I am going to allow myself time to just sit. Like today, before I came here to sit down and talk with you all, I was just sitting in the park on a bench with dogs running up to me and looking at leaves blowing in the wind. And I know that I'm going to need that kind of slow flow into this new lifestyle. My fear, though, is that the model that I do have is my mother, who retired and sat down to knit and watch the Home and Garden Network and eat cookies. And I'm starting to understand now and accept now that she probably was autistic herself. And prior to her retirement, the 10 years before that, my father had a massive stroke and she became his caregiver. So if she was autistic and had worked her whole life and now was my father's caregiver, I have a feeling that she was in complete burnout. But since there was no discussion about neurodivergence then in the early 2000s, especially with women of her age, we sadly watched her fall into cognitive decline because she didn't take care of herself physically, with the sitting, the not getting oxygen, not getting outside, eating crap food, gaining weight. Like, anyway, that's another topic. But my model is just to like sit down and do nothing. So I could easily do that. Then again, on the other hand, there are so many things that I'm interested in doing. So many things. Thank you. Hi, Jennifer. Don't apologize for being late. You're here. That's what matters. I've got people who understand me with me. I can't even tell you, like, there's this warm feeling coming up inside of me right now, just knowing that I recognize these people who are here commenting, and it just makes me feel really good. So thank you, all of you, for being here. Anyway, I have so many things that I want to do, and so another fear is that, like, I'm not going to get to all of them. I don't have in my mind, like, traveling. A lot of people retire and they want to go see the world. There's places that I want to see, but I've never been a real adventurous person. But what I do have in mind is, like, I think my the talk right now is moving from fears to the next one, which is my hopes and dreams. Those kind of like blend. So I do see myself like doing all of the crafting things that I never have time to do. And I do see myself turning my house into the home that I've always wanted it to be, that I can't do when I'm working because I'm burned out at the end of every day. I do see myself like going on women's retreats away from all of my people here and just with women, maybe women like you, who relate to me and just feel like I see myself creating sisterhood. I see myself kind of, what is the word when you're getting ready to have children and you're not homesteading, nesting. Where did homesteading come from? I see myself like nesting again. I remember nesting each time that I was pregnant with my kids, and it was just such an amazing feeling. I see myself like being out in the world in the quiet places, like finding the quiet places. I see myself finding a quiet, cozy cafe and listening to music or a podcast or reading or doodling or just watching. I see myself sitting under a tree. I see myself going on long drives in my car. I see a lot of that. Those are some of my dreams. Judith. Yes, we are much more than just a wife. Exactly. Like there's so much more life to have once we're here. Oh, you guys are bringing up so many important things to think about. It makes me want to get through my list quickly and stop just talking about me, so we can have this conversation. But I also see myself doing some important things. Like I see myself having a few side gigs and keeping mentally busy like that. I see myself going back to my thrifting and reselling, which I loved doing. Gosh, it's like creative to me. It's like true personal expression to look through all of the things that other people don't want and see yourself in it. I don't know how else to explain that. Like I'm walking through Goodwill and I see all of these like glass dishes or all of these mugs, and then in those mugs you find one that's like you, that represents you, and it's like, oh my God, out of all the mugs in the world, this one that's me is right here. Like those are the moments that I'm looking forward to. I see myself continuing to create this community and a sisterhood, and there are some brothers here, so a community of people. I see myself becoming more of an advocate for the neurodivergent community, especially for late self-diagnosed high masking women, to help there be some more discussion about who we are and how we present in the world and acceptance. I see myself writing a memoir. That one's exciting and terrifying at the same time. I see myself creating some ebooks. I'm starting to work on that a little bit right now. So I see myself being very mentally active. That's one of my hopes and my dreams. The next two things on my list are answering questions and then suggestions for future retirement content. But actually, there was something in the comments there that I want to talk about. Hold on a second. I've got you on my iPad here on the side. So yay for other treasure hunters. Woohoo. Yes, Rochelle, the older neurodivergent crowd is underrepresented. We do need to create a community around there. I also wanted to, I mentioned this in the video I posted yesterday. I want to go into coaching. I want to get I don't know if it's a life coach or I don't know what it would be called, but whatever kind of certification you need to be a true coach, and then work with this community of late self-diagnosed high masking women, because that community of women is really different than women who have known they've been autistic their whole lives or who are not masking. It's even different than the community of people who were diagnosed formally, because I think we just have a different mindset. So that's something else that I want to do. But Judith, you said something about our parents were taught to get married and the wife had to take care of the husband, nothing else. We're not like that. We know we are much more than just wife. Right. When I was married the first time to the father of my kids, we were married in 1996, and I left the marriage in 2008. I was wife. In fact, he would refer to me as the wife. So when we were out with people, family or friends, or in a restaurant, the wife will have, he'd call me by my name if he was talking to me, but if he was referring to me in a group of other people, he would say, the wife is a teacher, or the wife will have the steak and eggs for breakfast. Or it was so odd. I later found out that he is also neurodivergent, but I didn't know that then. Anyway, that's another story. So I had to unwind myself from that wife. This is my job, to be solely a mother and the caregiver of the home. And I enjoy those things immensely. I enjoyed being mother and caregiver of the home, but I was also working full time, darn it. I was doing all of it. Um, and why? Like, why can't those things be shared? But what's so interesting is now that I've had that full career, I want to, I do want to get back to the nurturing aspects of myself, but I want to be nurturing me. Like I want the cooking and the setting up house and the um, the caregiving to be focused on me. Like I've done a bang up job of raising my kids. They're amazing human beings, and I have all the faith in the world that they're gonna have these wonderful lives because they have the tools to do that. They don't need me on the daily anymore, but I need me on the daily. I do. Like my husband is a fabulous guy. If I don't know if you know, you know, if you don't, you don't. We're not officially married, but we've been together for 14 years now. I just call him my husband because it's easier. He's a fabulous guy, and we look out for one another to the best that we can, but we're both in these times in our lives where we have different interests, and we each also need to take care of our own selves. His daughter is grown, and he's a grandpa, and she's out of the house too, and like he gets to do his own thing now. So um, I want to bring the focus back to myself and do it like without any guilt. Yeah. Raise your hand if you feel guilt. Raise your hand. Leave a note in the comments if you feel guilty when you want to take care of yourself. Like, why do we feel that way? Glasses on. Yeah, we have to know that it's okay. And like I intellectually know that it's okay, but it hasn't gotten put into practice enough. So right now like, I am really um, excited. Like I'm really hyped to figure out what my own self nurturing looks like. My therapist often tells me that um, she thinks that I would really benefit from like going on a women's retreat. She's always asking like when I'm going to do that, and she tells me about ones that are upcoming. And I'm working, so I can't just take off of work and go. But um, that that would be really amazing self care for me to do that. There is a another YouTuber. Her name is Annie Paquette. She's focuses on making content around for people who are highly sensitive, um, introverts, neurodivergent. But she's putting together a retreat series. Um, I think it's for like 3 people, 3 women at a time. God, and I so want to go, but she doesn't have the details out yet. So, um, Annie, if you get to watch this, because I know you follow me too, please give me that information, because if I have to save money for it, I want to start saving now. Like, I want that to be my first retreat. um, Rochelle, you don't have to apologize for anything. You type and respond slowly, and my brain either works too fast or too slow, so it's all good here. Um, what, who is that? Judith, what stopped you from feeling guilty? Or like, how long did it take you to not feel the guilt anymore? Or like, what was it that made you notice that you weren't feeling guilty anymore? Like, I just want to know, when does it go away? When does it go away? And Rochelle, do you still take care of people before you take care of yourself? Is that what you're saying? I have a I've noticed that when I do lives, this is my 4th one, I think, that I feel like I need to fill in all of the blank spaces with talking. But in real conversation, like that's not how it works. In real conversation, there's back and forth. So there's a really unnatural sense to this for me. I even tell my students all the time, you don't need to fill all the quiet with noise. They're second graders, and as soon as I turn around to write something on the board, they start talking to each other, and then I've got to get everybody back down to focus. So you guys can't literally talk to me, but you can type something that I can respond to. There we go. Sophia's here, yay! No need to fill blanks. Thank you. So it's okay if I just sit here and stare at you with my lovely smile. It is. It's such an unnatural way to be. And you'd think that I'd be good at this by now because as a teacher, I had to teach for a year online and just like talk to a bunch of little itty bitty 7-year-old bobbing heads back and forth on a screen without any response because they didn't know how to respond on a screen. Like, that was so bizarre, but it's still really uncomfortable. If I had a scripted thing, it would be different. And I've watched some, anyway, this has nothing to do with retirement anymore. So anybody else who comes to watch this is going to be like, what is she talking about? Why is she off on this topic? Okay, back to comments. This is helping me. Judith says, I stopped feeling guilty when I saw that everyone around me, kids, husband, friends, told me how much happier I was, and it was okay. And Rochelle says that she's learned to say no. Thank you, Sophia. I'll just tell you stuff. And if anybody is watching who is not yet a subscriber, if you just kind of found this, you have to be subscribed for like 1 minute before you can leave a comment. I should have said that before. And that's just to keep the riffraff out. So if you're watching and you want to say something, just subscribe. And please only come into comments if you have something kind to say. If you're going to say something about whatever, I don't know, that makes no sense or that's rude, don't even bother. But I tend not to attract those people to my channel, so that would be great. That's good. I forgot what I was talking about. Can somebody help me? What was the last thing I just said before I got off on having to subscribe to comment? Does anybody have better executive functioning skills than I? Anyone? I'm waiting. No? Hi to the 11th watcher. Let me know who you are. Say hi in the comments after a minute if you're new here. Wayne! Hey! Wayne, hi! Congrats on my big decision. Can't stay long, but just want to say hi. Hi, Wayne. Oh my God. That's like, I just have to say to you before you pop off. YouTube is really weird, but like, I just feel with you there that like I have some celebrity here with me right now. And I know you're just a dude and you're in Canada. I know you're just a dude like up north from me. A really kind, cool, introverted dude, but you feel like a total celebrity. I'm so glad you're here. And thank you on the congrats. I'm really excited to be moving on with life. Rochelle can't remember either. Then we're all in good company. I love it. Sophia says she feels guilty about not marking the test fast enough, or when you don't bake the cake you promised your kid. Yeah. I have in this bag on the floor next to me all of my students' classwork from September. So we started school on like August 12th, and they started doing an immense amount of classwork with our new curriculum in September. And I can't, like, I want to go home at the end of the day. And it's not like it's college, it's second grade. Like, I need to know how they're doing, and I can tell them how they're doing, but parents don't really care if I'm sending papers back or not in the community that I'm teaching in, actually. They just send their kids to school. Anyway, but I have to look through all that to do my report cards today because they have to be turned in tomorrow. So, like, I forget to mark papers. It's insane. And I told my daughter like 3 weekends ago that I'd be cooking dinner that weekend because I gave up I allowed myself to not cook dinner for the family anymore, and then I never did, and now it's 3 weekends later, and I still haven't cooked a nice Sunday meal. So yeah, there's guilt I'm gonna have to get over. That's for sure. Um, I Those are my thoughts on retirement. I did record a video on the park today that I'm going to be posting probably tomorrow. And that one is about, it's kind of about four different things because my mind goes in so many different directions. But that video is about how I feel like I haven't really quite fit in for most of my life, fit in anywhere. It's about um, um, being a neurodivergent. It's about um, executive functioning struggles, and it's about how all of those play into why I'm wanting to retire. So I've got to edit some pieces of that together. And there was a lot of wind. We're having Santa Ana winds here in Southern California. So the wind actually has stopped now. I'm looking out my window that's in front of me, and the trees out there are not moving. But when I was at the park, oh my God, they were like, anyway, what I'm trying to say is my microphone is a cheap, crappy microphone, and it didn't buffer any of the wind noise. So it might be hard to listen to, but it's important stuff. Doris, hi! You also feel like a superstar. Every day Wayne dropped in and he felt like a superstar to me, and now you're here and you feel like a superstar too. Hi, I'm glad you're here. Um, oh, Sophia, you teach 10th grade? Ah, that's a whole other bag of worms. Oh my God. I can't even imagine. I don't want to teach any students that are taller than me. I've always said that. So I'm 5'3.5", and the fourth graders at my school are already starting to be taller than me. So like, no, third grade's my limit. Can't do it. um, I know, Doris, far from a superstar, but like, it's just this weird vibe because we just see people on the screen and people we admire and look up to, and then they are coming to support me. So it feels like that. Does that make sense? And I know I might feel like that to other people when I show up um, for them, but I don't know. I'm Yeah, haha. What part of Southern California? You moved from Anaheim, Rochelle. Wow, I'm in North County, so I am like in the San Fernando Valley. I don't want to be too specific. um, you can reach me if anybody wants to reach me. I have a contact information in the description of my earlier videos, and I think it might also be on my like channel description page. So if any of the people who are here right now want to contact me, you can. I encourage you. Um, and if you're somebody that I want to be in contact with, I will write you back, I promise. Yeah, the winds in Salt Lake City are cold. I bet they are. It's cool here today, but it's going to be in the like low 70s, and then tomorrow it'll be close to 80 again, which is making me sad because I love the fall and I love the spring. Those are my two favorite weather seasons because it's just like, I guess you call it mild. It's usually sunny and the air feels crisp and there's like a gentle breeze. That's my favorite weather. Anything too cold and anything too hot, I'm a miserable human. um, I don't know what I was saying. Oh, about, I guess I want to, yeah, so I wasn't too specific about where in the San Fernando Valley. It's a big valley. I'm just in it. um, I don't want to keep anybody much longer, and I do have to take care of those report cards and grades today. And if I play my cards right, I will likely only need to do report cards for one more year after this. That's another thing I haven't really thought about yet is how long this process of getting retired is going to take me. So I have to have all of those meetings and find out if I meet certain thresholds for a decent income with my pension when I leave. And then there's paperwork to file, and then there is waiting, I guess. So I will definitely be finishing out this school year. So that means I have 3 reporting periods, 3 report card periods I've got to get through. And then I imagine that I'm going to have to do 1 more year after this because of how long this process could take. So 3 more, so like 6 more report card periods, we'll say. That's the goal. And then I'm done. I don't need to do it ever again. Oh my God. I hate report card season so much. It is so stressful because it's not just entering the grades, but Sophia, you know this, and Judith, if you're still here, you know this. It's the parent conferences. Oh, those are exhausting. Back to back for every 15 minutes, you're meeting with parents, you're rushing through, you're answering questions, you're convincing them, you're calming them, and I have empathy, I understand, but it's just so tiring. It's so tiring, and it's on your own time. It's not during the workday. I have to do parent conferences from after school, after contract hours, every time we do them. So it's like at least 2 to 3 hours a day of my own time, and then I have to go back and teach again the next day. Anyway, but I'm almost done. Just a few more. Yay, I know, I'm excited for me too. Sophia, it's almost dinner time in Portugal. Wow, Portugal is someplace that I actually do want to travel to. Now, I don't have not that adventurous, like I said, but I am interested in going to Portugal, and I am interested in going back to Italy. I've been there, and I am interested in seeing more parts of the United States that I haven't gotten to yet. And I am interested in seeing Ireland and Scotland and those places. My husband's heritage is that. So, but Portugal, so cool. I think I told you that before. And I wish you would tell me what your Portuguese channel is, because then I get to see. But I know you want to respect you keeping that to yourself. I understand that too. Yeah, parent conferences is exhausting. So I think we're coming on almost an hour, and today I do have some things to do. That's what I was saying. Oh my God. Thank you for being patient with my brain. I got report cards I have to do. My husband said a couple hours ago he wants to take me out to lunch to some restaurant that I've been to before. He texted me when I was out on my walk, but he didn't tell me which restaurant it is, so I have to see if I can work that in. My daughter has a haircut appointment in an hour and a half, and then at some time today I've got to drive her to a friend's house because they're having their Halloween party. She's 19 and still doesn't have her driver's license yet. Hopefully soon. I would be nervous about that because she's now my baby and she would be driving, but I'm just tired of taking her all over the place. And she takes the bus, the public transportation to school, to college each day and back. But getting to her friends' houses, she's not interested in Ubering and isn't comfortable taking the bus that distance. So I need to drive her. So that's what I've got for myself today. And oh, thank you, Sophia. That makes sense. I'm sorry you gave up on your faceless channel. Maybe you'll start a new channel, but you don't have to. Anyway, that's what I have going on today. So I think that it's time for me to say goodbye. Thank you to all of you who are here. Thank you for having this lovely conversation with me and each other in the comments. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate your camaraderie, and I appreciate your sisterhood. And if there's anybody you know who is on this path, please let them know about my channel, because more of my content is going to now start to focus it won't solely focus on my retirement journey, but I'm going to be including that journey on my channel. So it's like a potpourri of all things Jen. Thank you for the heart, whoever that was. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. I'm going to go have my day, and I hope you all have a fabulous day. If you're here and you're new and you're not subscribed, please like and subscribe. And if you're interested in supporting my channel, I have a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description of this video and in the description of all my other videos, and I think it's on my channel page. So that's a place you could support me too if you choose to. Thanks. I love you all. We'll talk again soon. I hope to be doing some more lives because I'm starting to feel more comfortable with it. See you guys. Bye.